Alright, so the summer 2025 anime season is coming to a close. A few shows have already finished, so let's talk about one of them, and that is the second part, the second cur of season 1 for Sakamoto Days. It is a continuation, of course, from the first 11 episodes, and it went for another 11 episodes, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it went for another 11 episodes. And it basically, obviously, continues on the story from the first time that we saw the first part of the series. Now, in terms of the show, I think that this show has, so we'll start with the opening and ending themes, because I think both of these are actually quite strong contenders for good opening and good ending. The opening in particular has like this sort of pop rock vibe that I kind of like, and the art style of how they present, like, you know, Shin riding on the back of the what's that bike or a truck that Sakamoto is driving? I can't remember what vehicle it was, and just like a mix of color, a flurry of movement. It really kind of brings together a lot of stuff that's kind of going on around the characters, and I think is a good sort of visual metaphor for the show itself. That being said, though, I really do think that the music is actually really good for this opening. But, however, giant however, I gotta say that the ending theme is a lot more solid. I absolutely love the animation style, the presentation, the music, the variety of characters that you see. I think that the ending theme is, I think, the best ending theme this season. Easily, I think. I could be wrong about that. Maybe I'm missing a show, but I absolutely love the ending theme of Sakamoto Days Part 2. I think that it is a great bloody time. That being said, though, season 1 left us in an interesting position where we have character, not necessarily character reveals, but rather the actually, no, that happened in season 2. Never mind. Season 1 basically introduced us to Sakamoto and a bunch of other characters like Shin, like Ru, which is our main trio of characters, and of course, Sakamoto's wife, his daughter, and then of course other assassins like Nagumo, who is a part of the order which Sakamoto used to be a part of. And so now, this time around, there's been a bit more world building, both in terms of the JCC, so like, you know, the Japanese assassin group, the organization that actually does hits for people, as well as, kills criminals and things like that. Also, bringing more information about, what the order is, how the public, not the public necessarily, but like people who work at the JCC, how they perceive people from the order as like this mystical group of, like, the world's best assassins and things like that. And of course, we do see a lot of, characters appear from previous seasons. So the shotgun guy who not shotgun, sniper rifle guy who has a little parrot called Peace Care. I forgot his name. He's an absolute delight of a character. I think that every character is just incredibly likable. Even the villains, they come off as having like this sort of similarly goofy air to them, but they know when to get serious. So it's a mixture of that sort of action comedy style that I really like something like Gintama for, except that Gintama was more sort of laugh out loud, and I know that Gintama is a legendary series that would be an unfair comparison for Sakamoto Days, at least for now. I'm sure Sakamoto Days is going to get a lot better, because to me, like, Gintama is easily like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 show at times, especially with a lot of the adaptations that they're doing, the final movies and whatever have you. That being said, though, there were some reveals during the second part that has really put a lot of what the characters are doing into perspectives, motivations are being revealed, new characters and enemies are now joining the fray, and it really, really is interesting how we started off small with Sakamoto, his wife, and his daughter, and then it slowly branches out, adding in Shin during the first episode. Second episode had Lu, and now we're just kind of slowly expanding across not just the characters that are close to Sakamoto, but also now the organizations known as the JAA, the JCC, and I'm pretty sure I was saying JCC before. I was meant to say the JAA instead. But these organizations, the people that Sakamoto used to work with, in the order themselves, the absolute, like, I don't want to say that because that's actually a spoiler. Stuff that happens regarding these organizations, more specifically the JAA, I should say. What happens with them in particular, and of course, the introduction of a extremely strong assassin that is, basically on the side of the bad guys, essentially, being introduced as well, and adding a new flavor to an already eccentric and yet very colorful cast of characters. And you might think, oh yeah, most shows have a very colorful cast. No, this cast in particular really rings of like such immense variety in characterizations, motivations, presentation of who they are, how they are, and especially some of the eccentricness that exudes from some characters. Talking about like the director dude from the plane. Don't think too much about it if you haven't. Again, I would very much recommend watching Sakamoto Days. I think that it is a really, really good show. I think that it is really solid. It is paced incredibly well. I think that the writing is good. I think that the visual aspects are incredibly well done. I think that the fight scenes are really good as well. And I really do think that this world of assassination that they're kind of building up is coming along really, really well. Like, I don't see a lot of stuff that's kind of taking me out of the show. In fact, I'm actually really enjoying it, and this is definitely one of the strong shows of the season. There were quite a few strong shows. I only really have a lot of very positive things to say about Sakamoto Days. Though if I were to present a negative, it's why split Sakamoto Days into two 11-episode curves. So this is where I am kind of getting a little bit annoyed. Because the thing is that part 1 and part 2, if you put that together as like a single season, because all of it together is in fact a single season, I think that it could have done so much better. Why was there a break in between the two of them? Who the hell knows? Maybe it was pushed, maybe it was delayed, but I feel like there was really no reason to split the two parts. And another negative, from my opinion, is I want to see more. There is no season 2 announced, even though some shows already have a season 3 announced because their season 2 finished this season. So I did kind of want to wait and see if we might get the announcement of another season of Sakamoto Days. I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's certainly something that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully that does get provided. There's a decent amount of character growth, though I feel like the more we move away from Sakamoto to some of the more side characters, like Shin, like a couple of the other guys near the end of the season, they do seem a little less interesting, but we haven't had enough time to kind of sit with some of these other characters outside of Shin that have kind of just been put in to the show just now. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how that goes. I am not fond of those guys too much, at least as of yet, but maybe eventually I will come to care about their individual goals and things, like, how they are and what they're about later on. But till then, we'll just have to kind of wait and see how things go. I do think that Sakamoto Days Part 2 is an incredibly strong season of animation, and I really did have a good time watching it. I am putting this in my anime list at an 8 out of 10. I really do think it's a great time, and it's an easy recommend as well, in my opinion. But with all that being said, though, let me know what you guys think about Sakamoto Days in the comments below. One thing I didn't realize is this is actually one of the most popular shows of the season, or maybe I'm just completely high out of my mind. Either way, with all of that being said, let me know what you guys think about the show in the comments below. Did you watch it? Are you going to watch it? Are you not going to watch it? What's your thoughts? Provide them all in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year. With all that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.